Alright, so we're back here with the Ultra Boom, and I have to replace the turret bearing. Slew bearing, turntable bearing, goes by a lot of different names. But you're probably asking yourself, how in the world are you going to get that out from in between the base and the turret itself? I'm on a little bit of a timeline here because I got confirmation that the towing service that's going to be bringing the rotator down here to hold this up for me will be here tomorrow morning. So I got to get to boogieing here. Lock it out, tag it out. You know what they say, don't get dead now. Alrighty, so we're getting ready to pull out all the hydraulics here. The way that I keep these straight, these are all dash 10 lines, they all look the same, is as I cap them off, I will put this telephone wire. Some of you that are from the 80s and 90s probably recognize this. This is an underground telephone wire, very thin gauge wire. It comes in lots of colors. You can order this stuff online. You can get chunks of like 3 foot or a foot and a half or whatever it is. And I'll tie one around here, tie the matching color around the corresponding, cap off the lines, and we'll get all of these out of the way. Alrighty, so we got all the lines undone. We marked them all except this last one, because he's a different size. So if you have to mark the only one that's different, you got more problems than just hydraulic hoses, and maybe you shouldn't be doing jobs like this. Anyways, so what we're gonna do is use a ratchet strap, and I'm gonna cinch all this stuff up so it stays with the boom. So yeah, just like that. Now I've got the electrical, stays with the center section. The hoses stay with the boom. Now I gotta undo the 2 grease lines. And besides that, the physical connection between top and bottom is severed. So we're good as far as that goes. Slight recap. Hoses, done. Electrical, done. Grease lines, done. You'll notice there is no physical connection between upper and lower now, except I gotta take this little doohickey bracket off, start breaking some bolts loose. Yay, it's threaded on top. Alright, so this is quite literally just a bracket that keeps that the pivot cylinder or whatever it's called from rotating, because it's not physically connected to the upper part. So we're gonna go ahead and start just winging these suckers off. I'm taking all take it, don't have the turkey here. Let me get them out. That way I have to get rid of. There's an absolute minimum amount of time. Right, to get the wobbles out for those. So here we are, getting them out of there. Like I said, we got the grease lines tucked down there. Electrical's tucked down. This is the pivot piece. That's the pivot piece that I told you is not physically connected, because it's not. That stays at the lower. This plate is what comes up. Alright, here we are a couple hours later, and I got all the bolts out except for 4 on top and 4 on bottom. And one thing you got to make sure you do is we got to clean these holes out, because when they get shipped they're full of cosmoline. So I got a nylon brush here, have it in reverse, and I just kind of force it in there. And I do that to every one of these holes with brake clean. All 80 holes. make sure they're nice and clean. No cosmoline, because these get Loctited in. You want the Loctite to work appropriately. So I'll make sure we get those all ultra clean. So I'm gonna do all 80 bolts. All right, so we are ready to take this off. I did leave 4 bolts on top, 4 bolts below, and that's to prepare for our rotator to come out. And they're gonna rig up in the specified areas. They're gonna take tension off the boom, which this is actually, this upper piece weighs 30,000. So they're gonna take tension up off of that. I'll remove the 4 bolts on top, and then we're gonna take this and we're gonna rotate it out of the way, and then I'll take the 4 lower bolts out. I'll bring a forklift over and pick that up out of there. So we're done for today. We're gonna wait for the wrecker tomorrow. And for the record, these bolts, those 2 up underneath the frame, and the same on the opposite side were the hardest to get out. The underside was actually really easy. Other than you gotta hold your impact over your head, which does get heavy after a while. So yeah, like I said, I got 4 underneath there. 1, 2, if you can see the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those will be easy to wing out of there, but I don't have to do that part until the top's hoisted off. And all this stuff just stays in place. So relatively speaking, other than the weight, this is actually a fairly easy process. Only a couple hours to get that prepped together. So let's see you guys in the morning. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And did this process go the way that you thought it was going to? I know it didn't for me necessarily. You'll see here in a minute, this didn't go exactly how we wanted. We did have options. We could have took the brakes off and slid the bottom out from underneath it, but we ultimately didn't have to do that. And we are 100% free. Now we're gonna get ready to swing this out from underneath it. We did have to put a chain around the boom. There was some movement it had where the boom was coming free of its stop, and that's not normal. But we're about to swing this out of the way, and that way I can get the bearing swapped. In this next section of the video, I don't record a lot, mainly because I'm doing work and everybody's on the clock here. During this entire process, when we were trying to swing the machine around towards the front of the rig, we figured out we weren't going to be able to get enough swing to get it out of the way for the bearing. So the driver here, clever as he is, decided that if we swing it backwards, we'll gain the access that we need in order to get the old bearing out and the new bearing in. So when he pivoted backwards, it gave me vertical access to put the bearing on and remove the old one. So this actually worked out pretty good. All right, we got our new lower in. And he's gonna be above the bearing. And then we're gonna try to line up the slew. At this point, I already have the lower somewhat bolted in with a couple of bolts, holding it in tight. There we go. Boom. Bearing is booming. Done. All right, now we come to the fun part. Do you know it's more fatiguing than torquing down 40 bolts? Torquing down 80. Fuck. Okay, so we got a torque sequence here. They all need Loctited, but I've numbered all of them. That way I don't lose track of where I'm at. And then I'll mark them off with paint pen as I'm done to confirm that I've torqued them. And then, because you can kind of see where the old was, but I'll reconfirm them as I do all of them. But it's 190 foot-pound with red Loctite. Red Loctite 271. Numero 12. Well, the one downside of winter, it's 5:15 right now, and it's misty, it's cold, it's dark, and I'm sitting here torquing down, not 40, but 80 volts. However, we are done. I can now move on from this part, and I have to reseal the center section. It's leaking, and then I have a bunch of other repairs. But the worst part, the turntable bearing, done. You do have to go back after about 50 hours of service and recheck all your torques. They shouldn't go anywhere. 190 foot-pound per with red Loctite, 271, so yeah, it should be fine, but they just have you do that precautionary. That's it for me. See you next time on Fixed-ish.